Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm back. I'm once again Angel Ramon, author of the Thousand Years book. Back again doing another video because I'm sure some of you are interested in learning to know more about me. I'm sure my introductory video was good enough for some of you. However, I think I've gotten a few requests here and there. Or I'm sure some of you are gonna want to know a little more background of why I got into it and how did I get into it, and what's my what can I say? What's my pleasure? What's my enthusiasm about doing this? So I'm going to do a Q&A. I'm doing a question and answer section. I'm going to answer some questions that I'm sure I've been asked already, and I'm going to answer some questions that you may want to ask. And I'll answer. If you have a question in mind, please refrain from commenting before seeing this video, as your question may be answered. So let's get started, right? Shall we? First question is, do you remember the first story you ever wrote? Wow, the first story. Well, by the way, I also give you the link to my interview, my full bio. If I'm sure I've done that already, but if I'll post another, repost it again in case you missed it, or you can't, you don't seem to be able to find it. Okay, so we'll do that. Yeah, first story I wrote. Well, my first story, to be honest, a short story. I was really a short story writer before I really got into serious. I was back in junior high school, and ironically, it was a science fiction as well. I'm a science fiction writer. I like everything science fiction, and it had to do with this man who had a job as a police officer in a futuristic world, defend the city from criminals, but as well as aliens. Make the long story short, he gets framed for the murder of a high-ranking captain, and he has to defend himself not only against aliens but also the cops. And then he finds out that his uncle, I framed him at so because he wanted to control the police force. So Angel, so long story short, he captures his uncle and he restores his name. So that's pretty much that's where my writing background stems from that story on, and that I think was a 5-page short story, and it was pretty impressive, and I would do it as a hobby coming along. So another question I've been asked is, what do you read for pleasure? Well, me, obviously, I'm a science fiction author, so obviously science fiction is on top of that list. But I also like to read history, survival horror thrillers, and anything that's fantasy, and anything that's, that I know is false, but it'll be heck of a not cool if it was true, if it really could happen. So really, I'm a fantasy book lover. What is your e-reading device of choice? Well, e-reading device I like to read. I use my computer, or I use an iPad, or the computer is my main device that I like to use. Well, no surprise there. What book marketing techniques have been the most effective for you? Now that's a question hits a little more towards me, and I'm sure you guys might know how I market myself. The way I market myself is, I suppose, doing these self videos, like this Q&A you're watching right now. I got my own Facebook page, 1,000 Years War, which you can check out. I'll post this video onto that Facebook page, and I'm really getting all my friends involved. Anybody, you know who you are, my friends, the guys I grew up in high school, guys I know, co-workers, exes, trying to get them involved. and I try to update my profile every day while trying to be funny and professional at the same time. Now, describe your desk. Question 5. Describe your desk. Well, I'm pretty much sitting by it right now. It's in my bedroom, but it's in a nice secluded area of the house, away from the hustle and bustle of the business that I had just in the few rooms, you know, few rooms beyond me. You know, I have a little business. I fix computers. I'm a computer repairman. I do presentations. I help people. I teach computer classes. You know, so I got my little business on the side. So, but really, my desk is a little bit crowded, as you can see. If you want to take a look, you know, it's got my computer, printer, modem, phone, and that's pretty much the desk. You know, that's my desk. So yeah, that so now you know where I wait from. You know where my headquarters is. Now, well, obviously another big question is, where did you grow up, and how did this influence your writing? Well, I was born and raised in New York, in Brooklyn, New York. But honestly, it wasn't so much where I grew up. It was more the environment that I was raised in. It was what I was raised in. I was raised watching a lot of science fiction and shows, just movies such as The Fifth Element, or you know, science fiction shows such as Quantum Leap. Maybe a little old for some of you. May not remember Quantum Leap so well, but for me, I remember it, pretty well. I've read a few of the Quantum Leap books in the series. But really, I think my biggest influence is the sci-fi games I grew up and played, like Doom, Quake, Duke Nukem 3D, Star Fox 64, and Metroid Prime were really my biggest influences. Whoever made the people who made those games were real geniuses, and and really just the science fiction beyond it's what really got me into the idea of writing my own science fiction book. I started my own series. When did next question? When did you start writing? Well, I think I might answer this question already, but yeah, it was obviously I said junior high school. Well, but it was started for school assignments. But I was really writing. I was limited to my school assignments, and I will write as a hobby, once in a little while. But I didn't get serious until my senior year of high school, and once I became better at writing. Once writing became second nature to me, and I would write a short story at least for myself every 2 months or every 3 months when I get the chance, but only as a hobby. It was about 2 years ago that I became a serious about writing, or being an actual author, and actually showing my talents to the public. And I gotta say, it's very exciting. Right now I got the jitters to start this new Q&A with you. Going on 8 minutes and 8.5 minutes here. And I know I'm a motor mouth. I might have to talk, but I'm so glad to share my talents to the public. What's the story behind my latest book? Well, if you read the description of my book when you're buying it, you'll probably get a much better idea. But I can tell you right now, it's based on 3 of my best friends. 3 people I grew up with, who never met each other. I had 3 best friends, 3 people that I love so much with all my heart, and you know who you are? Never met each other, never crashed into each other. So basically, this book gets that dream scenario of them crashing together or being together. Despite having great relationships with me, and then these 4 people, who don't know themselves too well, they have to save the world. Let's just say these 4 people who don't know each other at all are gonna have to get to know each other real quick, because the world's gonna depend on them. And I love the idea of black holes, outer space. I like that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I like keeping it down to earth as well, when possible, of course. The book is intended to be a thriller, and that's what you should be reading it as a thriller. But there are some romance parts in it, some true romance, and the power of friendship is shown. The power of friendship is, how strong it could be, and how it's good to meet new people. As you may well know, you may never know, those same people that you just met may be the ones who save you one day. What motivate Next question, what motivated me to be an independent author? Yeah, like I said, exposure to science fiction and video games, television, books. But my real inspiration came from my ex-girlfriend, or I should say ex-girlfriend, because because our relationship isn't completely bad. It's actually a pretty good relationship, but I don't want to get too much into my personal life. This not the point of this Q&A. But anyway, my ex, she was one who liked to write poetry, and she would write these poems in a way that even I couldn't match. And she would write me a poem every week, although love poems, but nevertheless, I learned the symbolism. I learned her writing style, and I learned she was a very creative person, had a very creative personality. And I wish she was here right now. Me and her could work together. I'm sure if our two heads together, we could write something even better. But things happen for a reason, anyway. Well, and really, I became an author, really. And finally, and the final reason is because I just enjoy writing about new ideas and thinking of stories in my head. In fact, when in my old job, I used to work, and I was just daydreaming a whole plot, a whole book plot, a whole movie plot that I created. I was just daydreaming. When I was in the middle of doing nothing, and that's how involved I was in this. And it's really something I love doing. It's really something I love doing and sharing. Here's a question for you fans. What do you guys, the fans, mean to me? Well, you guys are the world. I know I'm just starting out. My fan base might not be too great, but as my fan base will grow and does grow, I want them to see reading as something entertaining, as fun, and not boring like a stereotypically shown as it's a stereotype that reading is boring. Actually reading could be very fun, and I want to make sure I write things that are fun for you to read. And many of my friends are friends I grew up with right now, and they're really proud of what I've done, and for that, I tell them thank you for the love, and in fact, you guys mean so much to me that I did a video intro of myself the other day, which you can see on my Facebook page as well, the 1,000 Years War book on Facebook. Running on 13 minutes now. Let's go on to the next question. What's my next project? I'm already starting on that next project. It'll be the second book in the 1,000 Year War series. 1,000 Years War series, excuse me. I can't give away too many details because I'm in the middle of writing it and I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to spoil nothing. But it's just, let's just say this one's gonna build on whatever you read in the first book that you could buy right now. The second one I'm planning to write is gonna build upon it. The only thing I could tell you is it's gonna be a little more concentrated. It's not gonna be as expanded as the first one. It's gonna be a little more, consolidated into one character. My character to be exact. So, who are my favorite authors? The people I look up to in the writing world would be R.L. Stine, the guy who wrote the Goosebumps series that I loved as a kid. J.K. Rowling with Harry Potter. C.S. Lewis with Chronicles of Narnia and the Chronicles of Narnia series. And Harper Lee, as you may well know, the author of To Kill a Mockingbird, which is an excellent book. I recommend you read it when you get the chance. And Chris Gardner, the author of The Pursuit of Happiness, based on his actual life. Another good read, and the movie is just as good as well with Will Smith. Next, the final question: What inspires you to get out of bed early? One, in my business, of course, on the side that I have as my day job. But really, just to get on this computer on my desk and just continue to write my next masterpiece and to continue sharing it and blogging and answering your questions and just catering to my fans. Final question is: you want to know when I'm not writing, how do you spend your time? how does me, Angel Ramon, spend his time when he's not writing? Well, when I'm not writing, and I'm sure some of you already know this, I'm out by the beach. When I'm not in the beach, I'm finding new cookie ways to improve my house that I just bought nasty. I'm a handyman. I know electrical as well. I could buy a house. I could do security systems, cameras. Yeah, I could do that as well. I'm a multi-talented person, so I do home improvement sometimes, and really just going out in the wild, just finding new places to explore, trying to find new horizons out there. I might to go out. When the chance is. Well, and obviously, one of my favorite places to go is a baseball game. I'm a huge baseball fan, a huge Yankees fan, and if you see my New York Giants jersey, I'm a heavy New York Giants fan as well. So, running on 16 minutes, I think we're gonna cut this Q&A off. Okay, I really had the pleasure doing this question and answer session, and if you have any more questions, please feel free to comment as you see fit on the comment section of this post, and I'll gladly answer your question when I get the chance. If there's any question or anything you want to know that didn't get answered in this session, if your question did get answered in this session, then more power to you. But if there's a new more you want to know and it's nothing personal, remember, personal questions will not be accepted. Relationship questions will not be accepted, or anything personal will not be accepted. Strictly professional, and maybe a little bit of baseball, a little bit of sports, but really that's about the extent of my personal questions I'll accept. But anything with the book. Oh yeah, and by the way, don't ask me how the book ends or to give you the whole story. Will not accept that question either. I will tell you need to buy the book. I encourage you to read it for yourself. But but new things like inspiration or anything I didn't cover here, you're free to ask in the comment section. So, well, I hope you enjoyed this question and answer session with me, Angel Ramon, the author of the 1,000 Years book, and I'll talk to you guys later. I'll be back with probably another video. I don't know what it will be, but we'll just see where it takes us. I hope you enjoyed it, and comment as you see fit. Have a good night, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. Good night.